Yeah. Shailen, can you unmute me?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me live from Bangkok, Thailand. Today, I'm very excited to have Nilesh Chavda back again to do an afternoon's cooking of Thai cuisine. He's got 3 courses for you today, and hopefully you'll all be inspired to cook along with Nilesh or cook along something this evening. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Nilesh.
Oh, hi everybody. Good to see you all again. I can't see you, but I hope you can see me. Very excited today. The weather has been perfect this week. We've got lovely menu set up for today. Thai, something we always enjoy, probably in restaurants and stuff. Sometimes we try and create it. I just want to demonstrate how easy it is to make it at home. You can probably adjust the flavors to your taste and enjoy it a bit more. There's a couple of interesting ingredients I've used today, which we will all enjoy. So once again, namaste to everybody. Thank you to Shailin Bhai and Ashish Bhai putting this together, and our team here, my wife Bina and my daughter Ria is looking after the video. And thank you all for joining and taking the time out to be part of this show today. So today, as I said, I'm going to try and demonstrate the Thai cuisine. I'll put it down as a 3-course, which is a nice way to present it, especially if you're doing a dinner party at home. It just brings a lot more jazz to the whole dish. You can serve it as 2 if you want. So we've got pancake wraps, something you probably enjoy at home or in restaurants. In the form, most of the times you come across pancake wraps and they've used cabbage and carrots and stuff. I have used jackfruit today, a fantastic ingredient, really, really nice ingredient. This is the right jackfruit that we're going to use, amazing aroma, and it has got wonderful flavors. But the best of all, it has got so many benefits that bring the whole dish with that more nutrition to look after our bodies in various ways. Now, it's widely used in the Asian continents. It's a national food for Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, grown in the tropical regions. When it is grown, fully ripe, a lot of times it's a huge thing, weighs nearly 55 kilos. You can use the ripe one, which is what we're going to use today. Lately, you might have come across it being used quite a lot as a substitute for non-vegetarian dishes, and that they sometimes use the unripe one, which has a more fibrous texture. But both of them can be used, but obviously the products come out slightly different. Now, some of the benefits that I talked about just now, it strengthens the immune system, protects against cancer, aids healthy digestion. There's more than 10 benefits to this, but these are just some of the ones that I'm highlighting. You can make so many uses of it. Today we're using it as a pancake wrap. You can make it as a curry. You can make, and there's other options I will demonstrate towards the end of the show, what some of these things we can use as. The intermediate item is the Thai mango salad. Again, something you might have come across in restaurants is labeled as green papaya salad. I'm not sure if you might be aware, but sometimes if the green papaya is not in season, they can't get hold of it, they do actually use the mango as a substitute. And I've used the mango today because it is mango season. We're able to get raw mangoes, we're able to get ripe mangoes. This one needs the dark green raw mango, which is what we're using today. And the final item is the Thai red curry, which is going to be served with rice. Now, to bring more jazz to the whole dish again, we're using saffron to make the rice, which brings more flavor, better color to present the dish. And what I do want to show is how Thai curry paste, which we sometimes buy from supermarkets in a jar and stuff, how easy it is to make at home. I have slightly adjusted the ingredients from the traditional way of Thai curry paste making, because I've used ingredients which we can find in everyday household. there's a couple of ingredients that can be used in the traditional way, but if you you can adjust them, and I will go through them as we talk about it. So to make the pancake wrap, again, something I was trying to, I've just brought a demonstration of what the grapefruit juice looks like. Sorry, the grapefruit looks like. It's a lovely thing. I know there is this worry about how do we cut it? Do we need to oil it? Is it very sticky? A lot of the places that do sell it generally have it cut up, and they've done the various things of oiling it and stuff. So it is very easy to handle. And this is the pulp that we are after. Again, very easy to peel off. You can actually use the seeds itself. You can roast them and eat them as well. So I just wanted to demonstrate what you can buy and how. Today, I have used a tin one simply because I bought my segment of jackfruit slightly earlier in the week, and it's kind of gone off, so it's slightly not reusable friendly. So you can buy these in the tin one. Either one gives you similar flavors. It's just nicer to use fresh if you can. And that's the jackfruit I've used today, which you can buy in many regular supermarkets and small grocery shops. To flavor the mixture, I'm using Hoisin Sauce, again a shop bought one. We can make this, but the time kind of restricts on us wanting to make different sauces. So I've used shop bought one. So, and these are the items to complement making of the pancake. Just finely sliced carrots, cucumber. Now the cucumber, when I did slice it, I'm sorry I didn't put it on the recipe. You want to not use the middle bit because it is more watery, and you just want the crunchy bits of the cucumber. And there's the spring onions, finely shredded, and that's the plum sauce to add extra flavor when you're putting the pancake wrap together. Now to make the Thai mango salad, I've finely chopped raw green mango. To get an extra crunch, when you chop it, it's good to put it in water with ice in it, so it brings that extra crunch to the whole thing. We're going to use tamarind paste. Sorry, my bottle is not as clean as it should be, but you can see it's been well used. And to support the mango, we're going to have plum tomatoes, green beans, jaggery, there's soy sauce, lime juice, segments of lime, and some garlic, and finely chopped red pepper. So that's the second dish. And to make the final dish, again, as I said earlier, I have slightly adjusted some of the ingredients that you would normally use or you might come across in how traditionally the Thai curry paste is made. The most common one that you might come across, which I only came across when I was shopping for my ingredients for this, is galang galang paste. But you don't have to use it. You can just use ginger itself. I'm not going to use it today, and it will give you just as good a result as having to use this as well as the ginger. I've got dried red chilies, which I've de-seeded them because otherwise they will be extra fiery. It will just spoil the taste. And I've soaked them in water just to soften up the skin. Now, and some of the other ingredients that you need is the stems of coriander. Now, I just wanted to show lemongrass. You obviously need to take the top layer off because that's the slightly fibrous part. This is better done with a knife. And you want to use the lower segment of the whole lemongrass stick. but this can be put to good use as well. If you can use this when you're making masala tea or just spiced up tea. You can add this to it. It brings that extra sharp flavor to the whole thing, and it's really nice. And as I said, because I'm not going to use galang galang, we've got ginger, coriander stems, coriander seeds itself, sugar, salt, peppercorns, basil. You might find some people address or want to use Thai basil leaves. They're slightly bigger in shape and maybe a tiny bit different, sharper flavor, but this is just as good as anything else. And a lot of times they use kaffir leaves. Sometimes it's hard to get. So again, as I said, I've tried to use stuff that we have in everyday household. So this is dark green limes, and I've taken the zest off. Okay. Now, in terms of making the Thai curry, ideally you can use any ingredients you have in the house. So I've got items that I had listed on the recipe, but you can add broccoli to it. You can add broccoli to it. You can add asparagus, any crunchy vegetables that you might have with you're not sure when they might be going off. This is a good way to make use of it. Okay. So these are the items that we have prepared ourselves. So firstly, we will start making the pancake wrap mixture. Again, pretty straightforward. Turn up your gas or cooker or whatever you're using. Let it warm up, add some oil. And this is our prep for the mixture we're going to use in the pancake wrap. I'm just going to let the oil heat a little bit. Ideally, I should have switched it on whilst I was doing the cooking earlier. But whilst it's just warming up, as I said, a lot of these ingredients I've tried to use today are everyday ingredients which we can have in the house, or at least they're easy to get. So hopefully, I'm hoping that you will all observe what's going on today and try and put it together at home and just realize how easy, but what an amazing meal it makes for you. And if you serve it as a 3-course meal, it just brings a nice touch to a dinner party if you're having a sit-down dinner party.
Nilesh, I know you're not making the hoisin sauce today, but I've had friends who've made it themselves and it turns out quite well from most ingredients you usually have in your own kitchen anyway.
Again, this is why I emphasize about making the Thai curry paste at home, because it is so easy to make a lot of these sauces. I know some are not so straightforward, but most of these are, and hoisin sauce is also a nice, easy one to make with most of these ingredients that we would have at home. I have personally never made it, but I'm sure if we looked it up, it would be quite easy and straightforward to make. And a lot of Chinese sauces and stuff we used to buy sauces quite a long time ago, but now we try and just make do with ingredients we have at home, and you can replicate a lot of these things. So you can use marmalade with ginger to get the sweet and sour flavor. If you're making anything with black bean sauce, you can use black beans and soya sauce. The trick is to use corn flour to slightly thicken up the sauce, and then you can use anything you want to put in it. So if you're putting mushrooms, you get mushrooms in black bean sauce, or any other ingredients. If you're going to be using aubergine, you can have aubergine in black bean sauce and stuff. So my oil is almost ready now. I'm just going to put the onions, the ginger, and I've cut shreds of garlic and shreds of ginger because it matches up to the way I've cut the jackfruit. So you will often get a burst of the ginger when you're putting the wrap together and enjoying it. I'll let that just kind of saute together. Whilst that's happening, we can probably put together some of the ingredients of the mango salad. Now, I'm sorry I didn't put down the utensils you might need if you're cooking along with me, but to make the mango sauce and a mixture, you need a mortar and pestle. So it's quite a straightforward way to put it together. You'd put your lime juice, your jaggery, now the jaggery and the sourness of the lime, it really creates a lovely marry and a wonderful taste of sweet and sour flavor, and really brings the whole salad dish to light. And then I'm going to put segments of the lime, the ginger, and the cut up chilies. And what you need to do is just pound this together. So you're squashing everything together, you're mixing it, and once it's mixed to after a couple of minutes, then you would add more items as you're going along. So I'm just pounding it together, as you can see. Just kind of squishing it all down together. And while that's happening, just give it a quick stir for the mixture, pancake mixture, which is almost ready, but I'll just give it another half a minute or so. And to this, I'm going to add the tamarind sauce, which I mentioned. Now, this brings the extra depth of tanginess to the whole dish. A lovely, lovely ingredient, which is quite widely used in the Thai mixture, Thai recipes. And I've got my salt and pepper, which I'm happy with the quantity, but just make sure that you add a little bit and then season it, taste it, and then just adjust the taste if you need to add more. Okay. So I think my onions are almost sauteed and they're almost ready. I'm going to put the jackfruit in and give it about half a minute or a minute just to let it cook together. And to this mixture, I'm going to add, go back to my mango salad that I was making, add the tomatoes, and just all you're trying to do is squash the tomatoes so the juices come out, kind of blends in with the rest of the whole thing, just brings the whole dish to light, really. So just keep mixing it. Make sure any of your tomato segments don't escape. They have a tendency of jumping out. I will decant some of it. About half or so. Just going to attend to this. I'm happy that it's fairly well put together now. It's kind of softened enough. You can see the mixture, nice and blended in. Everything is kind of cooked well enough. And now I'm just going to add my hoisin sauce. Now, that's the pleasure of doing a live demonstration. You need to have all your things ready. Sadly, I didn't have my knife, scissors ready at that point, but I'm sure you can notice it. And just mix the whole thing together. And it's almost ready. Just give it another minute or so, and the whole preparation is ready. I'll just turn down the heat a little bit. If you find at this point that you've added too much sauce and it's looking watery because you don't want it to be watery, you can just add a tiny bit of corn flour mixed in water or on its own, and that will just help to thicken up the sauces. And that is the trick with most of the Chinese or Thai dishes that you put together. If you are making green greens or broccoli in garlic sauce, you would saute the garlic, add the broccoli, let them saute again, steam cook, add a bit of water, and then thicken the sauce with corn flour water, and you will be amazed that it will be no different to what you would go and enjoy in a restaurant. So this is ready now. I'm happy with the mixture. So that's ready, and I'm just going to put it aside for the time being.
So Nilesh, just to clarify, the sauce that you added from the packet into the pan, that was hoisin sauce.
That was hoisin sauce. So you add the hoisin sauce, but you use the, that's the hoisin sauce I've used, but you would use plum sauce on the actual pancake. Just when you serve it, you layer it up with plum sauce. Some people want to have it hot, so you would put some chili oil or chili. Just to bear in mind, if you're using chili oil, many a times it has got oyster sauce or some sort of fish sauce. So you might want to look at the ingredients. If you're vegetarian or if you're vegan, you might not want to use it. But in that case, you would just add strands of red pepper that we've used, and that will give you a similar hot effect from the chili. Now I'm going to go back to the finishing of the mango salad. I've put the tomatoes, I've put most of the other ingredients. Now I'm going to put my green beans in. So that's most of the ingredients put in. Now the only two things left is the peanuts and the soy sauce. If I had a slightly bigger mortar, I would have added most of it already, but it's spilling over, so I'm just going to do it slowly. Now, when you've put the green beans in, again, you don't want to, you're not trying to get a paste, you're simply breaking up some of these whole ingredients, which bring out the flavor and nicer to eat. Okay, so that's the result that I've ended up with, which I'm going to decant half of it in here. And now I will just add my soy sauce and half the peanuts for now, because we want to use the other half to put it as a garnish on top, and just kind of squash it down so it kind of blends in together and breaks up. As I said, we're not trying to get a paste, we're simply trying to just break up these hard, crunchy ingredients that we have. And I'm happy, I think we've come to where we need it to be. So I've done with the mortar and pestle. We can put that away. So I've got all my ingredients in here, except half of the peanuts, and that's the end result. Now, if you remember, I had said earlier that the mango stays nice and crunchy, or becomes crunchy once you chop it, put it in some water and add ice. The ice really brings the crunchiness in the whole thing. So I'm just going to drain the water away. So I've drained the water, just got the mango, chocolate mango. You don't need any of these extra things now. And just need to mix this whole thing together. If you feel brave enough, just use your hands. It really just helps to mix the things nice. And you can, I don't know if you're making this alongside with me, but I can just smell the fresh lemon, the fresh lime, and the lovely ingredients that we've used. It really is a lovely, lovely dish to make. And I'm not going to serve it yet, because I'm going to serve it all together towards the end, once most of the dishes are made.
Instead of mango, you can use papaya as well. I think that's what I had when I was in Thailand.
That's what I mentioned earlier, yes. So when you go into restaurants, this dish is normally labeled as green papaya salad, which is the raw papaya. If it's in season, it's a lovely ingredient, similar texture, and probably slightly greener than the mango, which is looking yellowy orange. But you can use either in the ingredients, and sometimes in restaurants they use the two ingredients put together, or serve you mango salad in that same way as well. So either one you can use, and it will give you similar result at the end. I've used mango because I know mango is readily available and it's in season at the moment, so why not use it? But if you can get hold of a papaya, you can do the same as what we've just done Okay, so if you see how quick and easy it was to put your dishes together, we've got 2 courses already ready. Now we just need to put together the Thai red curry. Again, very simple. For that, you'll need a blender and all the ingredients that you have to make the Thai curry. You just want to put them all together into the blender and just blend the whole thing. So this is the lime rind. I'm throwing in the ginger. Sorry, this isn't to go in the mixture. I've just put it out here to show what red chilies I've used. It's just the standard red chilies that we have in the house for cooking purposes and stuff. All you need to do is snip it off, take the seeds off, and let it soak in water to soften up the skin. I've got my garlic cloves. I've got my lemongrass. Now, again, I've put this on the plate just to show you this is the part that you don't want to use because it's quite more fibrous and hasn't got as strong a flavor as the other one. But you can use this in your tea making, and it makes lovely Indian tea. If you add this into it, it's really nice flavor. I've got the coriander stems, the coriander seeds. I've got my half a sugar, salt, and the peppercorn, black peppercorn, my basil leaves, the lime juice, Now, the the red chilies that you were soaking, just drain them, but save the water because you will want to use that water if you need to bring a bit of fluidity to the mixture because it still holds a lot of flavor. So don't throw it away as yet. I'm going to put my cut up red onion. Now, I'm not sure if they generally use the lime paste, the tomato puree, but I am using it for two reasons. One, because it brings a nice tangy flavor, plus also it helps to enhance the color of the dish. So it's a nice ingredient to use. So I'm just going to add a tablespoon's worth. I'm going to keep it here because I might want to add it once I put the whole dish together, just to make sure that I've got the right level of coloring. And that secret ingredient, the tamarind paste, I'm sorry, it's not a clean pot, but it is, again, a fantastic ingredient. And just put a good teaspoon worth. And I'm still hanging on to my water that the red chilies were soaked in. At this point, I am going to use it and add half of it and just blend the whole mixture. So this is everything in the pot, all gone in. And if you feel that you're not getting the right red color that you would like to, you can just add a bit of red pepper as well, which brings the nice red color and doesn't distort the taste in any way. I haven't used it today, but that's something you might want to use. So just blitz this. Now, I've probably added a tiny bit more water than I needed to, but it's fine. We can still use it. I'm going to just blend it a tiny bit more. Ideally, it should be a nice paste looking. But because as I said, I've added a tiny bit more water than I should have. It's just a bit more fluidity, but it is not an issue at all. So now to put the dish together, I've got my hot plate still running. Put the pan on, add a bit of oil. Sorry, what I had forgotten is to add some oil to this. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of oil. And then just blend it still.
Which oil is that you've put in?
So we use, for cooking purposes, we use rapeseed oil, which gives the right balance of the saturated and unsaturated fats. Unlike olive oil, you don't want to use it for cooking purposes because at high heat, it can give out more of the wrong fats that you don't really want. So for cooking purposes, we use rapeseed oil, which we feel comfortable. You can use other oils like sunflower and stuff. But it's probably worth doing some sort of research to make sure that you're comfortable with the oil you're using to bring the right level of health benefits.
And Nilesh,
so the paste is ready.
Nilesh, there was a question about whether you should blitz at high speed or low speed. Does it make a difference?
Not really. I'm using a NutriBullet 600. You can use a more powerful one. The higher speed is better because it blends in the whole thing in a much better way. But as long as you get the right blend, I don't think the speed really matters in any way. Okay, so we've got the oil ready. I'm just going to add my hard ingredients in here and then just steam cook. So I've got cut up butternut squash, I've got baby corn, courgettes. What I've tried to do is cut them into lengthwise so that they are all of a similar kind of shape and size, so easier to cook. The only thing that we can't match up that shape is the mushrooms. So that's all gone in. And I've got the red peppers, green peppers, and I had a leftover bottom part of a broccoli, which I haven't got put on the menu or on the recipe, but that is something people often discard and not use it, but it's a lovely part of the whole broccoli ingredient, which has a nice crunch and lots of flavor in it as well. So worth hanging on to it, and if you're making some stir fry, you can add it on. So that's all gone in. I'm just going to add a bit of water and let this steam cook, probably at a slightly higher heat, to make sure you don't want to overcook the vegetables, but you just want it to soften enough, but still have the crunch as well. So let that cook for a few more minutes. Now, whilst that's cooking, I just wanted to show, I think a lot of people sometimes find it hard to handle a butternut squash, in the sense that how do you peel it? What's the best way to peel it? What sort of, because it can be a tough, it's got a tough skin to it. But all I use is a grater, and if you see, it just very easily peels off the skin without much effort. And that's the best way I find to peel. Many a times people chop into discs and then try and shave off the hard skin, but you might lose a bit of the butternut squash. This way you get the best of it. It's fairly easy method to do. So I thought it would be worth mentioning at this stage. Okay. So I can hear the sizzle. So I'll give it another few more minutes to make sure that it's well cooked. Now, something I'd not mentioned is how much of this red Thai curry paste you need to use. You need to probably use a little at a time, because after you add the coconut milk to it, it will dilute the taste, but you obviously don't want to use this whole pot because it will be just overpowering. So the vegetables are getting a nice shine to it. They're slowly softening up at the top. Lovely, and if I can show you the mixture of colors, it is just so nice. And once you put the rest of the ingredients, it will be an amazing dish.
So the extra red curry paste you made, you can just store it in a fridge?
Sorry, say it again.
The extra red curry paste that you've made,
Yes.
you can just store it in a fridge?
You can store it in the fridge and it'll probably last you for, we generally store it and it lasts us about a week or so. But something that we do quite regularly, because we make it quite often, is to store it in ice cube trays, and then you get your cubes and then freeze it in ice cube trays, and then you have little cubes. Then you can use as much and as little as you go along, and it will last you for even longer time. And towards the end, as I said, I will show you what other ways you could possibly use some of these things that we're putting together. But yeah, it's worth making a nice batch and storing it in that way, because it's an easy way to put together a dish, and it's a very welcoming dish as well. So if you're busy and working most of the time, and sometimes you're struggling with time to come back home to make a meal or something, you've already got most of this ready. The only thing you would probably need to do is prep up your vegetables. Again, if you're buying frozen ones, then it's just a question of 5 to 10 minutes to put the whole dish together. So I'm happy with how the vegetables have cooked now. I can see that they're cooked to the right level. I'm happy with it. They softened on the top, but I can still see that they are crunchy inside. At this point, I'm going to add the red curry paste. I'll put about half for the time being and just let it cook with the vegetables. I'm slightly not sure about the color, so at this point I'm just going to add some more tomato puree. Again, it will bring more flavor, but more importantly, it will bring that color. So this is where we have ended up with. Mix the whole thing, let it cook a little bit, let the Thai curry paste cook in the mixture as well. Again, if you're cooking along with me, and if you've got to this same stage, you can probably feel the whole room filled up with this lovely, lovely smell of lemongrass and all the ingredients that we've used. Really is nice, simple, but lovely dish to put together. And very, very fragrant, very. Okay, now I'm going to add the coconut milk. Generally, I would put in about half to start with, and then adjust the quantity of the fluid I put in according to how much of the vegetables you put together. This is enough for about 4 or 5 people's meal, very easily. Again, the coconut blend with all the mixture, really, I wish you were here because it is just a fantastic combination of smell, of coconut, all the lemongrass, really, really nice. You might want to just taste at this stage for 2 reasons. One, to see if you want to add any more salt or pepper to it, seasoning, but also if you feel you want it a bit stronger in flavor, you can just add a bit more of the red curry paste, which I am going to add. I know I haven't tasted it, but I'm happy to add a bit more. And I'm just going to add a bit more of the tomato puree just to bring in the color again. Again, we've got to as far as we can go. I feel I don't need to add any more of the coconut milk. I'll just let it heat up and assess in a little while. Now, to make sure that we're serving for more than 4 people, I'll just add a little bit more. Although the whole mixture looks a bit fluidy, this is where the corn flour helps. What I will do is take about half a teaspoon of corn flour, and I'm going to add a bit of water to it. I'd say about 20 mils or so. Make a nice milky mixture and add it to the whole thing. What that will do is just help to thicken up the sauce. It will help to stick the sauce to the vegetables and still hold the flavor as well. Once that is cooking and getting hot, it will all start to thicken up. So we're almost towards the end of making that 3rd dish now. Any more questions, Shailenbai, at this stage?
Not in particular. Earlier on, somebody was asking about the peanuts you used. Are they just regular salted peanuts or dry roasted, or what did you use?
What I have used honey roasted peanuts, but you can use honey roasted, you can use regularly salted peanuts, or you can mix the 2 together as well. It will just bring that slightly extra flavor to the whole thing. Again, it's a personal preference, and if you're doing a vegan, catering for vegan people, then you might want to probably just use ordinary salted peanuts, because honey one might not be suited. Okay. So here we are. It's just still got a couple of more minutes. Sorry, I forgot to add the mushrooms, which I can still add even at this stage, whilst it's still cooking. I should have added them a bit earlier. And let the whole thing still cook. Okay, so whilst that's cooking and almost getting ready, Now, to plate up your dishes, we would start with the pancake wrap. Now, these are the pancake wraps that I am using. I hope you can see them well. It's one I had bought from a Chinese supermarket. The beauty about these is they come in packets of 6. So you can attend to whatever you need, one packet at a time. You can put them straight in the microwave. I've left mine outside and then put them back in the fridge. And I'm going to just warm it up for like 10 seconds or so, just to get them warmed up.
It's just a question on the butternut squash. Can you use frozen butternut squash, which is already prepared?
Yeah, so any of the ingredients I've used today, you can use frozen ones. You just throw them straight into the pan and it will give you the same effect. So any of the ingredients I have used, you can probably buy packets of Chinese cut up vegetables. I think I might have seen them myself. The only thing is you don't have control of how it's been chopped in terms of size and stuff. And so if they're too big, it just unbalances the whole dish. So I prefer to use fresh. Plus, I assume it holds a bit more flavor in terms of fresh and stuff. So the pancake wrap, this is fairly lukewarm. Now to serve it, I've got all my items garnished. As I said earlier, all you need to do is, that's the plum sauce. Again, it's a shop-bought plum sauce, which you can buy in supermarkets. This one was bought from a supermarket, a Chinese supermarket actually, but most of the national supermarkets have it as well. It just brings that extra flavor. Hopefully it's still warm. If it isn't warm, you might want to just warm it up. So you've got your mixture. It's nice, and as you can see, the sauce is sticking to all the ingredients, pancake ingredient, butter, jackfruit ingredients, and you just layer it up enough to fill the thing. And then put your carrots, cucumber, and your spring onions. Now, if you're doing a dinner party, you might want to serve it in this manner, or if it's a nice way to serve, but also if you lay out the items that were like the pancake wraps itself with the cooked mixture and this, people will put it together themselves, and it just creates a bit more excitement. But overall, this is the result you want to achieve. Roll it up, and it's ready to enjoy. A lovely mixture of flavors in here: the jackfruit, the hoisin sauce, the plum sauce, and it's probably a slightly messy dish to enjoy, but Soviets would solve that issue, no problem. So that's the pancake wrap, and very easy to serve as a starter course. And as I said, the packets come in packs of 6, so you want to defrost and warm them up as you're going along, little or less. Okay. So my red Thai curry is ready. Amazing flavor. The smell is just incredible. Really nice. So that's that. The second dish, again, as I said, if you're doing a dinner party, you can present it as a 2-course meal, or if you want to do it as 2 course, then you would have served the mango salad together with the Thai curry on the rice. So our mixture is ready. When it's ready, probably a good idea, if you're not serving it straight away, if you prepared it slightly earlier in the day, then good to cover it with cling film and leave it in the fridge. It will stay nice and fresh. So that's the, and again, completely different flavors, but very mouth-watering. If you're cooking along with me, you can probably appreciate all the smell that it's bringing out. And this is the dish, again, varied with how much you want to serve. And then the peanuts, just sprinkle some on the top. And here we go, another dish ready as an intermediate course. Very nice, very fresh, very light, lovely for this warm weather. Nice dish to enjoy. And finally, I'm going to turn my cooker off. Now, to serve the Thai curry with rice, I generally like to use a slightly deeper bowl or plate because it will hold the sauce nicely, plus it will work well with the whole dish. So I've got my rice ready. As I said earlier, it was saffron rice. So all I did was cook the rice and added a few strands of saffron. It again brings a lovely color, golden color. You can see the strands of saffron in there. So the smell just adds to the whole thing. So I'm going to just again, if you're serving it at a dinner party, it's a nice way to serve the dish. Just take a bowl, press it down, and turn it upside down. You get a nice pile of rice, and put the so you've got your rice piled up in the middle, and you just pour the red Thai curry sauce around it. To make it more pretty or more eye-pleasing, you'd add, I'm going to use red chili cut up, a segment of lime, some coriander, and the spring onion. And here we go. This is the dish I think most commonly seen in one of the regular restaurants. I'm not sure if I'm able to mention it now, but it's a very nice way to just enjoy the dish. And this caters very well for just one sitting with 3-course meal. So that's all our dishes prepared. Now, so we've got our pancake wrap, nicely consumed, put together, or let people to put it together. Our Thai mango salad, and the Thai red curry with saffron rice. Now, that almost brings an end to our demonstration today. I hope it has given you inspiration to make it and made you realize that a lot of these things we can make at home, and it just takes a bit of time, but it's not that time consuming, and it gives you a brilliant result. Now, what happens with some of these ingredients? We've had a party and you've got some leftovers, you don't want to eat the same thing again. What do you do? Now, there's a couple of things you can do. So, I'm sure a lot of you must have heard of paneer chapati or tofu chapati. So what I'm going to do today, I've got my chapati wrap with me. Again, it's And to make chapatis at home, this is what we normally use. It's the right size and just the right thickness. So I've got my wrap here, and what I'm going to use in here is the jackfruit mixture. Add a little bit. And to roll it up, all you need to do, fold on one side, fold on the other side, fold the other side together, hold it and turn it. And at this stage, you will need something to just stick this down, and you would want to use the corn flour. So I've got some corn flour left from my earlier curry mixture I was making. So I'm just going to make a small corn flour paste with corn flour in it, a bit of water. You just need a small amount because I'm only making 1 or 2 at the moment. But you wouldn't need that much more anyway. Put the corn flour again, a milky, thickish milky solution, and just seal it down. And that will hold it in place. And that's your chapati ready. To cook it, I've got a tawa. You don't need to have to use a tawa. You can use a saucepan. I'm going to just turn it on again. Just add a tiny bit of oil to my tawa while it's warming up. The heat here is about medium or so. Once it's warmed up, whilst that's happening, that is one of the ways to use some of the leftovers. Instead of a tofu chapati or a paneer chapati, we're going to have jackfruit, Thai flavored jackfruit chapati. Amazing combination, which can be enjoyed. You can make these and freeze them, and when you want to use them, you just put them under the grill and have it again, a meal ready. Or if you're feeling like wanting to eat a snack late at night and you're not sure what to have, if you've got these ready, easier to just put it under the grill and it'll be ready within a few minutes or so. So my oil is fairly warm. The tawa is just about getting hot.
Just a question, Nilesh. The rice
Yes.
you used, any particular type of rice you'd recommend?
We have used basmati rice for a very long time. So I just use the standard rice that we use together with our Indian curries, or if we're making Mexican rice and stuff. So we always just use basmati, and I'm pretty comfortable with it. It gives you no different results. And actually, I haven't tasted any other rice, so I couldn't tell you any different. But basmati is always a good performer.
Thank you.
So my oil is almost ready. I've got my paneer chapati, and I'm just going to let it float with the oil and let it cook. So whilst that's cooking, again, the other use with some of this leftover is if you've got too much of the curry, what can you do? You might find it strange, but you can use it as a pasta sauce. So I've already pre-boiled my pasta. I'm not going to make all of it, so just going to make a small portion. It's already been, I've added olive oil to it so that it doesn't stick and stuff. Just cooked pasta, ordinary cooked pasta. And to this, I'm going to add my red Thai curry. And it will give you an amazing Thai flavored pasta dish. Again, a different combination, and you don't feel like you're eating the same thing again and again with your leftovers. So a nice way to enjoy the meal. And if you feel the sauce is not enough, you could just add a bit of passata sauce just to kind of bring that extra taste and flavor and coloring. But that's my pasta dish. It's just warming up with the Thai curry. I'm going to just let it warm up a little bit. And once the pasta is ready, serve it with some salad. You've got all your vegetables that you had used earlier. And it's got that lovely sauce, Thai sauce, that brings that unusual flavor with pasta, but really nice to enjoy with some salad. So that's another dish.
That looks amazing.
And my chapati, I think it's cooked on the one side, just taking a tiny bit longer than I thought it would. You want to get it slightly crispy. So I'm just going to give it another half a minute or so, and then I'll flip it over and let it cook the other side. You can pre-make these chapatis beforehand if you're having a dinner party, but you don't want to be too involved when the guests come. So all you need to do is then put it in on a tray, oven tray, and stick it in the oven and warm them up and serve it at the time. So your hands off, because all the hard work has been done before, and it's a fantastic ingredient, hot item to serve to people. To serve my chapatis, I'm going to serve it with tamarind chutney, green coriander chutney, and some salad.
Some people have commented on jackfruit having a slightly odious smell, but I think have you heard of that?
People do mention the strong smell and stuff. I don't find that as a problem. I actually love the smell because it's a caramelized, deep smell. And once you put it together in a dish in some form or the other, that strong smell is not there anymore. So it might be a temporary thing, but at the end result, the smell is just a pleasing smell, which will be complementing the item you made with it. So worth giving it a try. I know the cut up one sometimes has a smell, or when you get a fresh whole one and it's getting cut in front of you, it brings out a slightly different smell that you're not quite happy with, but overall that smell is not going to linger on for too long. So my chapati is almost ready. Yes, it's cooked on both sides. Again, because of the lesser amount of oil you've used, again, another lovely healthy dish. You can, if I knock on the pastry, you can hear how crunchy it is. And that crunch really makes the whole dish nice to eat. So that's all ready. Let's turn off the cooker. And here we are. Jackfruit chapati with a bit of Asian flavor, salad, and the two chutneys all going together, and a nice easy summer dish to enjoy as well. And as I said, you can make it like these, store them away in the freezer, and take one or two as you need them and enjoy them by just putting them under the grill. Okay, so I hope I've given some sort of ideas and food for thought to everybody on how easy it is to put these dishes together, how you can serve it in different ways, and the whole effect, if you're doing it as a dinner party, as a cuisine, it gives a really sharp look to the whole thing. So thank you all for listening and paying attention and staying with us, and I hope you go away and at some point reflect on it and maybe put it together and stuff. And always good to try ingredients that you are slightly not so sure about, like the jackfruit and the smell. But once you put it together as a dish, it's just an amazing flavor. So thank you all again, and thank you Shailin Bhai and Ashish Bhai and the team here. They supported me quite well, and hope to see you all very soon. Thank you very much. Over to you, Shailin Bhai.
Thanks, Nilesh. Truly inspirational, and those dishes look amazing. So I'll be over later as promised, but actually, as you can see, I'm in Bangkok tonight. It's very late over here. We've had loads of compliments coming through about the food. So yes, we will be back, not next week, the week after on the 12th. We've got another cooking club session. Got a bit of a treat for everyone. And we will have Nilesh Bhai back before you know it. So thank you all for watching and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you.